What is up, bros and broettes? I'm MX-Garand, and today we're going to have both one of the most controversial and best comparisons we've had so far yet in the Versus series. Today we are going to be looking at one of the new DLC weapons, the MX Garand, versus its predecessor, the Sheiva. Now, both of these are semi-automatic weapons, and they make for an absolutely amazing comparison because their stats are so similar, but at the same time, as you're going to see, so very, very different. Now, this is kind of what we were looking at when we were comparing these two. Now, what we would expect to see when comparing these weapons is for the Sheiva to be probably the better weapon. Reason why I say this, because they don't want to make the weapons they're putting in supply drops overpowered, because that makes the game a little bit pay to win. Now, that's what we expect to see. Let's get into looking at the details. Let's look at the stats and see which one of these weapons is actually better. So as always, the first stat we look at is the damage. Now, the damage on both of these weapons is going to be very, very high because, like I said earlier, they're semi-automatic weapons, which means every time you pull that trigger, only one bullet will come out, no matter how long you hold down that trigger for. So, the damage profile for the MX Garand is 60 damage up close, 55 at mid-range, 49 at long range. For the Sheiva, 56 up close, 52 at mid-range, 49 at long range. Now, obviously, the numbers are a bit less for the Sheiva, but what we can take away from this is that for the most part, they will be getting the same amount of bullets to kill at every single range on the map. But the one area where this makes a difference is when you're looking at penetration kills, because obviously penetration kills take some damage off of that starting damage. So obviously, the damage profile is a little bit better for the MX Garand. We're going to give it 1 point for that, but here is why it's better. Every once in a while, when you fire the weapon, it will turn out to be a 3 or a 4 bullet kill because you are shooting through a surface. You'll be shooting through a wall, shooting through a barrel, shooting through something. When the base damage for the weapon is a little bit higher, there's going to be that occasional time where you get less bullets of a kill when shooting through something. That's the only time the damage profile for the MX Garand is better than the Sheiva. Boom. That easy, that simple. When it comes to the Versus series, most of the time when we're comparing weapons, the weapon with a better damage profile often turns out to be the weapon with the worst rate of fire. If we have a look at these two weapons, we see something very, very interesting. So if we look at the fire rate for the MX Garand, 300 RPM. Alright, it's a semi-automatic weapon, it's a slow rate of fire, makes sense with the damage profile. We look at the Sheiva fires at 257 RPM. The MX Garand, which has a better damage profile, fires at 43 rounds per minute faster than the Sheiva, and for that receives +1 point. As you can probably tell, the MX Garand is off to a pretty demanding lead after winning 2 of the most important stats in the game. Now, let's look at a couple of areas where the Sheiva can kind of make up some ground and gain some steam back. So one of the areas where it's a very, very large difference is the ammo. So the MX Garand, you start off with 8 bullets in a magazine and 96 bullets total. So a lot of bullets total, very, very small magazine. Whereas the Sheiva, you start off with 20 bullets in a magazine and 80 bullets total. Now, this is actually a huge difference, especially when we look at this from a math standpoint, because assuming that both of these weapons you're mostly going to get 2 bullet kills, the MX Garand 4 kills per magazine, whereas the Sheiva 10 kills per magazine, because 20 bullets in a magazine divided by 2, 10 kills per magazine. That's a lot, and for that, Sheiva +1 point. So one of the things you'll hear a lot of people say is better for the Sheiva is the recoil, and technically you'd be right. From a numbers standpoint, the recoil is a lot stronger on the MX Garand, but the thing that a lot of people don't take into account is center speed. What center speed is the amount of time it takes for where you are aiming to go back to the center of the screen, and that is 200 milliseconds faster for the MX Garand than it is for the Sheiva, which is actually a really big difference. The center speed for the MX Garand is actually more of a SMG speed, whereas the Sheiva is more of an assault rifle speed. So really that kind of counteracts any recoil difference you'll see between the two weapons and makes that null and void. So there's no point in comparing that stat. Now another stat we can look at is the aim down sights. Now the aim down sights time for the MX Garand is 0.25 seconds, which is the same as most of the assault rifles in Black Ops 3. Now, the Sheiva has an aim down sights time of 0.266 seconds, so obviously that's a slower period of time, and for that, the MX Garand gets +1 point. So the next nitty-gritty stat we can look at is reload speed. And the way reload speed normally works is a weapon will have one reload speed for when there is bullets still in the magazine and one reload speed for when the clip is absolutely empty. Now, the special part about the MX Garand is it only has one reload speed, and it's when the clip is absolutely empty, because most of the time when you reload this, you pop the entire clip out, it makes its ping noise, and you reload the weapon. So the reload speed for the MX Garand is 2.10 seconds, which is actually pretty good and very comparable with a lot of the other assault rifles. The Sheiva reloads at 2 to 3 seconds, or with an empty magazine, 2.9 seconds. That is a big difference. That is a really, really big difference. And for that, since the speed is faster for the MX Garand, it gets another +1 point. So as you can see, the MX Garand has really, really run away with this thing, and there's still one more stat we can give out. Now, I'm not going to bore you with in-depth numbers for this one because it's some really easy math that I can just show you guys. So the last thing we can compare, and generally speaking, this is the most important thing when comparing weapons, is the time to kill. Now, obviously, all I need to tell you is that the MX Garand has a higher damage profile and a fast rate of fire. What does this equal? A faster time to kill at every single range on the map. So as you can tell by that, the MX Garand gets another +1 point and absolutely dominates this episode of Burt Versus. This is one of the biggest runaways we've seen. Now, what I thought when looking at this is, okay, it won damage and fire rate. It's going to lose all the nitty-gritty stats, and that's where the Sheiva is going to make it up. Nope. The MX Garand is just all around a better weapon. The only thing that is better for the Sheiva is the clip size, and that is it. So obviously, pay to win. Maybe a little bit. The MX Garand is better than the Sheiva, and that's all I can say today. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, a like rating would be very, very greatly appreciated. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know which two guns you want to see me compare next. It'd be super greatly appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I upload Call of Duty videos every single day of the week, so if you're interested in that, click that subscribe button, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out.